Hello everyone, this is Sam and this is Carly and welcome back to another video. For today's video, we're going to compare two 2020 models, the BMW X1 and the Mercedes GLB. The BMW X1 was introduced back in 2008 and it didn't come to North America up till 2012. It was based in the BMW E91, the 3 Series Touring, the model that was first introduced to the market. The sales on this vehicle went from 8,000 in the first year to up to 40,000 in the following 3 years. It's become very popular for small families. And today I'm going to compare it against the Mercedes GLB, the first Mercedes GLB ever made. And today I'm going to show you why the GLB will take over the market and why you should pick the GLB over the BMW X1. The BMW X1 wins over the GLB in one category, the price. This one is priced at $35,000, while the Mercedes GLB at $36,000. But there is a reason why it costs more than the X1. The Mercedes GLB offers far more cargo space compared to the X1. It also offers a third row seat. With the second row seat, the GLB offers more cargo space compared to the X1. It becomes as good as the BMW X3, which of course it is more expensive than the GLB. Now, the third row seat in the GLB is not meant for adults. It's meant mostly for kids or pets because it is almost impossible to get inside and into the third row seat, especially for someone my height, 6'2" feet. It's kind of hard to get into the third row, and if you have kids or pets, it will fit right in perfectly. And you can also fold the third row seats if you want more cargo space. In order to fit the third row seats, well, they had to make the vehicle bigger and of course longer, and by doing that they have given you more leg room in the second row seats and the first row seat, more than you'd get in the BMW X1. What do they have in common in the second row seat? Well, they both have charging ports, they both have leather interior, and they both have a panoramic roof. That of course depends on the package that you pick, but mostly for top trims, they will offer a full panoramic roof with the option to open the first one. One thing they have in common though is the engine. They both offer a 4-cylinder inline. This one is a twin power turbocharged, meanwhile the Mercedes is a turbocharged engine 2-liter. This makes 228 horsepower, meanwhile the Mercedes GLB makes 221 brake horsepower. The fuel capacity in the BMW X1 is slightly bigger at almost 16.1 gallons, meanwhile in the Mercedes GLB at 15.9. When it comes to the fuel economy, they're both rated the same. A few days ago, I reviewed a BMW 3 Series, a 335i from 2015. And looking at that vehicle and this one, they're not far off. The design in the X1 has remained the same. Unlike other BMWs like the 3 Series or the 7 Series and the 5 Series, this one actually hasn't gotten a full update on the interior. This is why I say that the BMW X1 is slightly outdated compared to the Mercedes GLB, which uses a new interface. It has a bigger screen in the center. It offers a full digital cluster, which is connected with the center infotainment system. The other thing is that the Mercedes GLB offers a crazy infotainment system with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It offers a full 360 camera view, very sharp and very clean. This one, everything in here, it looks very outdated. Even the infotainment system still uses the old control unit for the infotainment system. It is touchscreen, but it doesn't have an Android Auto. With this package, it doesn't even offer cooling seats. In the Mercedes GLB, you could add cooling seats, of course, with an extra cost. We only have heated seats in this package, which is the second top trim. Looking at them side by side, the Mercedes GLB has a far better interior compared to the X1. The X1, in my opinion, requires a full update on the interior. It does offer some new designs, like for example the cluster itself, the tachometer and the speedometer are not fully analog, they're actually digital. But overall, the entire design, it is much more friendlier and much more futuristic in the Mercedes GLB. One thing with the Mercedes GLB is that you can control the infotainment system in 3 ways. First, touchscreen. Second, with the control unit into the center, and through the actual steering wheel. You control all the menu from there. The The next question I have is, how do they compare when it comes to driving? Is this any better, or is the GLB better than the X1? Now, let's take this for a test drive, and I'm going to compare it against the GLB. Unfortunately, I don't have the GLB with me today because of this social distancing that's going on. A lot of dealerships and press cars are closed, so we don't actually have access. But I have driven it, and I have reviewed it against the GLC. You can watch that video in the description box. It's a comparison between the new GLC with the new GLB. Now, let's go for a drive, and let's talk about how they compare on the road. Ah, man. Two complaints about this car. The B pillar on the middle, it's really annoying to get in. That's one complaint. Second complaint I have is the wireless charging port does not work for my phone. It won't fit. So when you open this thing here into the center, it has a slider. It has a slider in here. Let me show you. So this is into the center, as you can see. It's not going to fit my phone. It's too big for this. So BMW has not made this for the S10 Plus. This is an S10 Plus, so it does not fit to charge. Not a good thing. Now let's go for a drive, and let's see how different this thing is compared to the GLB. Into drive mode, power handbrakes, and they release automatically once you put it into drive. And then power mirrors as well. And let's see how this bad boy will do. But those are two annoying things about this car. The pillar into the center here, for my height, this was, as you saw, like I actually scraped my ass in here. Because of that, it's tough to get in. But yeah, the wireless charging thing for the iPhone, for my phone S10 Plus, it's not. And that's what I mean about this thing. It's outdated because a lot of things in this car were made for other phones, possibly. Like this is a perfect example. That's one annoying thing. Now, as far as driving this thing, it does feel slightly more comfortable than the GLB. And I like that. And it is slightly quieter inside compared to the GLB. It feels much quieter inside. Right now we're doing 60 kilometers, but I tested out even 100 kilometers an hour, and it's still a little bit quieter compared to that car. Okay, let's put it into sport mode. Okay, interesting. Okay, it drives nicely too. That's one difference with this car. If you're going to pick the BMW X1 from the GLB, I will say that the driving experience in this car is slightly better compared to the GLB. It feels more comfortable, more relaxing as well compared to the GLB, which I kind of felt some of the cracks on the road. In this one, it feels normal and soft on the ride. Even though this feels better when it comes to the driving experience, I'd still pick the GLB for a long run. Why? Well, it offers more space, it offers more seats, it offers better technology, and it is a new model. So that means Mercedes is not going to update that car for another 5 years or so. We don't even know what's going to happen with the X1 because this model right now might be the same for another 3 to 4 years unless they update the 2021 model, which I highly doubt it. BMW and Mercedes is really confusing people because they're making so many models. You have GLC, GLB, GLE, GLA. BMW has X1, X2, X3, X4, X5, X6, X7, X8 possibly in the next year or so once they decide they need one. And I feel like people don't need this many options. Maybe an X1 to X3, but why X2? There's no reason for it's just more options for people, but they can do that because they can use the same base from other models, use it in the same one, and just make it look different design and so on. In this one though, they should have included the new design that they have in the X7, in the X3, in the X5, for example. This model has been left behind, sort of like, let's just give it to them because they might buy it, and it's the perfect thing. I will honestly say, in my opinion, the GLB is far superior in every way compared to the X1. The interior feels way better compared to the X1. The Exterior too looks better in my opinion. The owner of this car told me that the reason he didn't get the GLB is because he didn't like the design of the GLB. I'm kind of shocked about that because in my opinion this doesn't look as nice. The older X1s were ugly, like the 2010, 2011 models were extremely ugly. This is slightly different, but what they've done in this one, they've included the big grille. The GLB in the future will offer an AMG version, which will make more horsepower and a different engine, I believe. I believe it will be a GLB 35 AMG, and potentially, maybe in the future, if that becomes really hot, they will introduce a more powerful version of it. But that third row seat in that SUV, even though in my opinion for adults it's completely useless, it will make it a very hot cake, and it will be a very successful car in my opinion. And it has become, the dealership that I reviewed the GLB from actually said to me that they can't keep up with the demand on that car because even I couldn't find one to actually review. So it took me a while to actually wait to get that car. So in my opinion, I will say that the GLB, if you don't mind the design and you like the design, for features and the overall interior, is far superior compared to the X1. Anyways, that was it for today. Thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe and hit like. And if you have any questions regarding this vehicle, well, just leave a comment and I'll be able to help you if you have any specific questions that I actually haven't answered. But that was it for today. Please be safe. Cheers.